Hello friends, let us continue our series of historical background of Constitution of India. In this video, I am going to talk about the one of the important act that was passed by the British Parliament known as the Regulating Act 1773. Now, the big question is that what is Regulating Act and why it was passed. So let us first study about the Regulating Act. So it was the first act. Remember my dear friend, it was the first act of British Parliament. First act of the British Parliament to control and regulate the affairs of East India Company. Now this act was passed by the British Parliament. Yes. Why it was passed? To control and regulate the affairs of East India Company. Control, you know what is the meaning of control? Now what is the meaning of regulate? In your fans, in your home, you have seen the regulator. So what you are doing, sometimes if you increase the number, what will happen? The speed of the fan will be increased. If you decrease the number, what will happen? The speed will decrease. So in a similar way, the government of Britain is trying to regulate the affairs of East India Company. What is the meaning of affairs? Sir, is this affair consist of a personal affair, love affair? No, my dear friend, not this type of affair. They are trying to regulate the political affairs. Political affairs. They are trying to regulate and control the economic affairs. Economic affairs. So in this video, I am going to talk about how this act is going to control and regulate the political affairs and economic affairs of East India Company. Fine. Now, let us start the Regulating Act. You know very well, East India Company came into the India as a trading company. Maximum students are having one doubt, sir, what is the meaning of a company? This company is same like, just like your Reliance, Adani Power or Tata. Just like Tata. Tata is a company. For example, Tata is a company in India. Similarly, there is one company in Britain. And that company came into the India. They give some money to the British government for the monopoly in the trade in India. So that only one company will come into the India and they are doing the trade. No other company is permissible to do the trade in India. For example, Modi Sahab told Tata company to establish a plant in Nepal. Okay. Now suppose what will happen? The Tata company will give some tax to the some earning or some tax to the government of India also. Suppose Maruti is saying to the government, sir, we also want to open a plant in Nepal. No. This is the monopoly of Tata. Same thing happens with this example, you can understand. So only one company came into the India and that company was a trading company. Simple company, small company. But this company later on result into a very big political power. How it happens? A trading company turned out to be a very big political power. We are going to study first. And then I will tell you the main points of the Regulating Act. For that, we have to go into the history of two decisive battles, and these battles are nothing but Battle of Plassey 1757 and Battle of Buxar 1764. East India Company fight these two battles and won these two battles. And after that, what will happen? After the winning of both the battles, this trading company becomes a huge political power in India. So let me give you some points regarding Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. Your history teacher is going to teach you in detail in modern Indian history regarding Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. Now, let me talk about first the Battle of Plassey. So Battle of Plassey was, this battle was happened between East India Company and the Nawab of Bengal. That time, who was the Nawab of Bengal? Sirajuddaulah. Sirajuddaulah was the Nawab of Bengal. And who is the in charge of East India Company that time? Robert Clive. So he is basically the, you can say that the commander chief of the East India Company army. Fight happens and ultimately who wants? The East India Company wants. This question has been asked so many times, and the date is very, very important. The date is 23rd June 1757. After this, what will happen? The company got confidence, and now it turned out to a very big political power. Not only this battle, after that another battle happens in 1764, commonly known as Battle of Buxar. In this, on one side there was Nawab of Bengal, Nawab of Awadh. Both are accurate. If you want to write like this, OUDH or AWADH, both are correct. So Nawab of Bengal, Nawab of Awadh and the Mughal emperor, they are on one side and British troops are on the other side. And who is handling this British troops or East India Company army? Major Hector Munro. Now, you will be surprised. You are thinking that, sir, in this battle, obviously, Mughal Emperor, Nawab of Awadh or Nawab of Bengal, they are involving. So definitely, three big powers, they are fighting against the East India Company, and definitely they defeat the East India Company. No, my dear friend. You will be surprised to know about that, and you will be studying this in detail in history. What will happen? Who won? The East India Company or the British Army, British East India Company won this battle. And after this battle, what will happen? They result into a very big political power. Because when you win a fight, what will happen? Your inner confidence will automatically increase. Now, next you are having a doubt, sir, East India Company came into India? Yes. They are having a monopoly regarding the trade? Yes. So they are giving some money? Yes. How much? 4 lakh British pound. This company, East India Company is basically giving 4 lakh British pound to the British government so that they are having monopoly. So that they are having monopoly in trade. Monopoly in trade in India. No other company from Britain can do trade in India because they are giving a very huge money, 4 lakh British pound. Now, what happens in 1772? In 1772, British East India Company, they do not have sufficient money. Instead of giving money to the British government, they took loan, my dear friend. They took loan of 1 lakh pound from the British government. In which year? 1772. Sir, if you are giving a small tax or less tax, it is okay. But instead of giving tax, you are asking for a loan. You took a loan. What will happen? The British government think that there is some wrong thing is going on in the administration. It is a time to control the affairs of East India Company. It is a time to regulate the affairs of East India Company. So what happens? They took a loan in 1772 and in 1773, British Parliament passed one law, and that law called by the name of Regulating Act of 1773. I think the history is clear. Why Regulating Act was passed, why it was introduced. I think the history is very much clear. Now, the main question is that why company become the bankrupt? This is the main question. Why company become the bankrupt? Previously, the company was giving 4 lakh British pound. Instead of giving money to the British government, they are taking loan from the British government. How it happens? So let us first discuss all these important points, and this is very, very important for your mains paper. Fine. Now let us discuss the first point. The first point is that Bengal famine, which happens in 1769. Now what happens in 1769? There was no rainfall. There was no rainfall. And whenever there is a no rainfall, because Indian agriculture is heavily depend on the monsoon. When there is no rainfall, so can I say no rainfall means no farming. And when there is no farming means there is no food. And you will be surprised during this period, 1/3 of the population of Bengal died because of hunger. They do not have a sufficient food to eat. But this East India Company is giving tax to the British government. They have to give some money to the British government, but here the peoples are not having even a food to eat. So how they are giving the tax? So this is the first region of bankruptcy. So peoples, they are not having money, they are not having food. So how they are going to give the tax? Fine. Bengal famine. Second point is the first Anglo-Mysore War, which happens duration in between 1766 to the 1769, and it was happened between the East India Company and Hyder Ali. So this was happened between the East India Company and Hyder Ali. Now what happens during the Battle of Buxar, during the Battle of Plassey? They got a confidence, है ना? They are having confidence. But what happens during this period, 1766 to 1769, during this period, East India Company involved in the first Anglo-Mysore War. And what will happen? East India Company is not benefited from this war. Whenever a war happens between nowadays between a two country, two state, what will happen? The maximum money, the maximum budget of that state, of that country is going to the war. They have to purchase ammunition, they have to purchase the medical instruments, है ना, safety के लिए, all these things. So all money is used in the all money is used in the war. Fine. So East India Company do not have so much money. Now third is the corruption. Actually, the employees or the officers of East India Company, they are involved in the corruption. Money is coming, but that money is not going to the treasury of the East India Company. They are going to the pocket of officers. They are going to the pocket of the employees of the East India Company. In fact, when these officers, they go to Britain, they told to their family members and friends, go into the India, work in the India in East Indian Company and earn money. Fine. So this is the another region of corruption. And the fourth point is loss in the tea trade. What this Britishers was doing, they are taking the tea from India and they start selling in the USA. But in USA there is a Dutch. In USA there is Dutch, and these Dutch are smuggling the tea and they are selling in USA. When one person is smuggling the tea, they are selling, definitely they will be selling at a small price now. So these companies are selling at a high rate. So what will happen? Trade effect. So these are the four regions: Bengal famine, first Anglo-Mysore War, corruption and loss in the tea trade. So my dear friend, these are the regions which result in the bankruptcy of the East India Company. Clear? I think this up to here, the background is very much clear of the Regulating Act, that is 1773. Clear? Now, let us talk about the changes. What happens before that? Before the Regulating Act of 1773, there was three presidency. One is Bengal, one is Bombay, Bengal, Bombay and Madras. All these presidency are having a governor. So Bombay is also having a governor, Bengal is also having a governor, and Madras is also having a governor. So all these three governors, they have to report to the Court of Director. They have to report to the Court of Director, which was 24 in numbers. So before the introduction of Regulating Act, all governors have to give report to the Court of Director, which are 24 in number. Now what happens? After the Regulating Act, what happens? The Governor of Bengal will become the Governor General of Bengal. He become the Governor General of Bengal. And what about the Bombay Presidency? As it is. What about the Madras Presidency? As it is. But this governor of Bombay or this governor of Madras, they have to report to the Governor General of Bengal. So this is the first major change or first feature of the Regulating Act. Now, this Governor General of Bengal, this is going to report to the Court of Director. This is going to report to the Court of Director, which was 24 in number. Suppose this question asked in a mains paper. So first point, first major change, you can write this. The Governor of Bengal will become the Governor General of Bengal. Fine. So both Bombay Governor, Madras Governor, they have to report. They have to report to the Governor General of Bengal. Clear? And this Governor General of Bengal is going to report the Court of Director, which was 24 in number. Clear? Now, second point. Second point is the dual government is stopped. What is the meaning of dual government? What happens during the Battle of Buxar? There was a Mughal emperor known as Shah Alam II. So, Battle of Buxar. So, let me discuss this. What happens during the or after the Battle of Buxar? So this battle happens between East India Company and some Mughal emperor. So what happens? There was a Mughal emperor known as Shah Alam II. Mughal emperor. Now who won this battle? Obviously East India Company won this battle. Agree? East India Company won. And after winning this battle, what happens? The Diwani rights of, let me write here, the Diwani rights. Now you are having one doubt, sir, what is the meaning of Diwani rights? Diwani rights is nothing but this is tax collection. Diwani rights means tax collection. So Diwani rights of BBO. What is the meaning of BBO? Bengal. Please remember this. Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. So the Diwani rights of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, they are given to the East India Company. Sir, what about the Shah Alam II? Shah Alam II is basically dealing with the administrative powers. Basically dealing with the administrative powers. Agree? So this is the meaning of dual government. So administration is handled by Shah Alam II and the Diwani rights or tax is collected by the East India Company because money is coming in the form of taxes. So East India Company interested in the money. So sir, what is the problem here? The problem here is that who is suffering? Peoples are suffering. Peoples are suffering. When peoples are having some problem, for example, they do not have any food, they are having a water issue, sanitation issue, they cannot go to the East India Company. So for a small problems, they have to go to the Shah Alam and Shah Alam said, you are not giving tax to me. So why I will take care of you? You can go to the East India Company because this East India Company is collecting the taxes. So they are going to take care. So peoples are very frustrated that time. So when this regulating act was passed, so this dual form of government is stopped. I think this is very much clear. What is the meaning of dual government? Fine. Now let us take the next slide. I have discussed all the important aspects of the Regulating Act. Now, let us come to the conclusion and let me give you finally 5 or 6 points so that you can able to solve prelims question, You can easily solve a prelims question as well as you can also write in the mains paper. Now, let us come to the first, trade monopoly. Is there any change? No, my dear friend. There is a no change. Why? Because before this regulating act, the trade monopoly was of East India Company, and still East India Company is having the monopoly for trade in India. Clear? Second, control of monopoly. Before that, the topmost bureaucrat position in British India was court of director, and after this also there was no change. After this there was no change because court of director will be remain same, number will be same. Court of director, that is 24. Agree? Now what will happen to the administration? Yes, in administration one change happens, that I already told you. What happens in the administration? Now we are having the Governor General of Bengal, and these two governor, Bombay Governor and Madras Governor, they are going to report the Governor General of Bengal, and Governor General of Bengal is going to report the Court of Director. So this is the change in the regulating act. Before that, what happens? Before that, there are the three governor of different presidency, and they have to report. So one becomes supreme. Who becomes supreme? The Bengal governor, because it was become the Governor General of Bengal. So this was the major change. Clear? Now let us back to the slide. So I think administration is very much clear. Okay? Now next is the central administration. Means when it comes to the central administration, I told you this is a major change in the central administration. This is a major change. But how these are going to make a law? This is very important. So let me discuss about this. At central level, I told you there is Governor General of Bengal. There is Governor General of Bengal. Agree? Plus there is a executive council also. There is executive council also. Okay? Now there is one Governor General of Bengal and there are 4 executive council. Suppose they have to pass one law, they have to make one law. How the law is going to be made? With the help of voting. Now voting will be take place, and now you can understand how many votes are there. Can I say total number of votes? So can I say total number of vote is 5. If Governor General of Bengal want that this my law is going to be passed, so minimum number of vote, so can I say minimum number of vote that is required is 3. So 1 vote is of Governor General of Bengal and minimum 2 vote will be from the executive council. So 2 members of executive council must vote in favor of the Governor General of Bengal. So this is the major change in the central administration, how the law is going to be made. This is clear? So I think this is very much clear. Now let me back to the main slide. So central administration. Now same thing happens in the provincial legislature. Now we are having 2 governor, the Governor of Bombay and Governor of Bengal. Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras. Now Bombay presidency is also having the executive council. So they are having the executive council. Similarly, this Madras presidency is also having the executive council. So they are also having the executive council. As the law is made at the central legislature, same thing is going to be happen here. So they are going to make a law, but only for the local issues. Fine. For the main issues, law is going to be made with the help of Governor General of Bengal and the Executive Council. So this is the major change. So I discuss at the central administration how law is going to be made, and here how the law is going to be made. It is clear? Now, let us come to the last point, which is revenue. From where the money will come, from where the wealth will come, revenue. Revenue source is because East India Company came into the India for a trade. So revenue will be come from the commercial trade. Agree? So can I write here the money will come from the commercial trade? First point. Second, now this company is also collecting some tax, some tax. So money will come from the tax collection. Money will come from the tax collection, and a very, very important tax, if I say salt tax collection. And this salt tax is not a new. It was also during the period of Mughal Emperor also, and it was the same tax that was opposed by the Mahatma Gandhi Sahab, and Mahatma Gandhi Sahab started the Dandi March. Fine. So I hope now you become master in the Regulating Act. I hope you are master in the Regulating Act. So as a brother, I have completed this topic of Regulating Act 7073. Fine. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much.